Wow.
Join me now for one of the most phenomenal outcomes in opal cutting as we explore this unbelievable Andamooka crystal opal.
G'day and welcome to Black Opal Direct. My name's Justin. Well, today we have something really special. We have an Andamooka crystal rough opal. And this type of rough opal doesn't come out of the ground very often anymore. It's very, very nice crystal color. And well, from what I can tell from the sides and a little bit of glimpses from the top, it's showing me that the color could be amazing right across the stone. Now I'm going to take the Dremel to this stone to get all those sand spots out of the top, and hopefully we have beautiful pattern and color right across the whole piece, and that will make me decide whether I'm going to cut a nice carving out of the whole piece or I'm going to chop it up to beautiful stones, symmetrical gems. So my first thing is to have a really good look at it through a loupe, and I use my gem torch to shine the light through and see where it's clear and where it's not. It doesn't give a full picture, so until I know how that color is going to face and whether it's clear crystal or milky, we won't know where it's going to be cut. So let's get on to the Dremel and have a little bit of a play and see if we can expose some of that color.
It's been a while since I've had the chance to cut something of this magnitude, play of colour and brightness. This Andamooka piece is one of the very rare gems that have come out of the ground many, many years ago, and realistically they don't come out of the ground anymore. So I'm quite nervous and excited to cut this gem and see what comes out. The idea of taking all the sand out of the piece with a Dremel, in hindsight, was probably not that great an idea from what the outcome happens. But anyway, I changed my Dremel bits to a sintered diamond bit, and so I could be a little bit more aggressive on my grinding. Andamooka crystal opal should not be mistaken for Andamooka matrix opal. There's a very big difference in the two. Matrix opal has a lot of host rock in it, where this type of crystal opal is pure silica, and it's very, very nice, high quality gem opal. But one of the pitfalls of this type of opal is you can have some beautiful crystal opal, and when you finished cutting it, the cotton wool or the lines of white lines inside the stone can come out, and avoiding that is probably the biggest challenge in cutting Andamooka crystal opal, because the white lines are considered inclusions which devalue the gem. So for now I'm flying blind. I have no idea whether this piece has lots of cotton in it or not. Dremeling opal is not something that I consider myself an expert at like my father was, but I have found it really necessary to clean up this stone as best as I can for the chance that I could create lots of little stones with nice high domes. And later on down the track I realised that this really wasn't necessary, but it still doesn't make any difference in the gems at the end. Oops, did I say gems? I don't want to give too much away. And I gotta say, stick around because the outcome is incredible. What I've exposed here is magnificent play of colour, but it has some blemishes in the colour itself. So I've taken to the back to have a look what's underneath that. Cutting opal is quite a fun expedition when things work out, but really I was not ready for what I was about to expose, and I will remember this one for the rest of my life. A piece of rough opal that cost me $15,000. I would love to buy 10 more of these from the outcome that happens. So watch and enjoy the beautiful play of colour that's about to be exposed. Can you believe that colour? I've still got a little bit more to go to hit the best stuff. The last remaining inclusions are causing me a bit of havoc because I'm risking losing that magnificent pattern on the top as I take down every little micro millimeter off the top, trying to get these sand spots and inclusions out without losing that colour is starting to grind on me. Pardon the pun. magnificent. Can you believe all of those colours? The reds, the golds, the greens, the blues, the oranges, everything is in it. And flagstone and floral and chaff pattern. And I didn't mention the pink.
So when I bought this piece, I did have a hunch that the colour would be pretty nice on the inside. And while I dremeled the sand off the side that I thought would be where I'd want to face it, once I took that cotton wool off the back of the stone, that is some of the best crystal opal I've ever seen. And I was considering making it into one big carving, but because the pattern separates from the middle to the sides, I'm going to concentrate on one main stone in the middle and then maybe a set of stones around the outside. So it means we're going to do a bit of slicing, but that colour is just ridiculous. All right, so now it is pretty much crunch time. I need to figure out and make sure that each stone that I'm going to cut has the same or very similar best pattern that I can produce out of this piece. Now, there is 3 different types of patterns. There's this floral pattern here. There's this nice flagstone and floral and chaff pattern there. And then there is a little bit more floral moss pattern there. So to make it one whole stone, while it would be very pretty, it's not really going to cut top gems like I want. I want perfect gems, and the centerpiece is just going to be probably one of the best crystals I think I've ever seen from Endamuka. And that's really saying something. So I'm just going to do some drawing on the piece and just get an idea of where I could possibly slice the stones off the ends and where I could get the biggest and best stone out of the center. Now that little cloud there will eventually come out, but it is starting to make that corner quite thin. So I think the best thing to do is to pretty much take it out. So if I come from this angle here, do a slice to there, and then come back around and do another slice to there, I save a little bit of weight on that stone. Because it's so thin on this side, when I come in, the opal is going to probably, I would imagine, sit somewhere around there. So maybe I do make my slice a little bit further that way. So I'll come into there and then I'll come into there, so because it's 2 angles. So there's a good example. That is going to be one big and beautiful gem, and I feel very privileged to be cutting something as amazing as this. So I think a slice there and possibly a slice there, and then we have this piece here to work with, which is it's okay colour. Nothing like the colour in the middle, but still very pretty. Nice floral, mossy floral pattern. So I think now we've figured out where we're going to be, what we're going to do. Could slice off some of those ends off there and go for some smaller stones there too. But I want to have a play with it. It is quite thin on that side. I want to have a play with the stone and see how it sits first. But I think now it's time for us just to take those ends off. So let's get on the slicer and take some of them off. Let's do it. All right. So this is probably the scariest part of the whole process, is is making sure that I'm slicing. Actually might slice on that line there a little bit away from it, just to give me a little bit more buffer zone for the big, beautiful gem. Ooh, that's grabbing. Don't like that. Alright, that's one angle. That's one. Alright. And now let's take out the other side. Beautiful little bit of colour there. So while I'm here, I might just take a little bit off that edge. There we go. Good. How good is that? So this is the main piece, and you can see that that's going to be a large, gorgeous gem. Hopefully clean, that would be the plan. So I did expose this, and I had to on the back just to make sure that the color wasn't better on this side, and you can see obviously that it's not. This is way better, way and above better than I ever thought it would be. So very, very pretty stone. And the pieces that I've sliced off, also nice pieces of colour. We may make them into a set. We'll see what happens. I've just got to clean them up a little bit more. So I'll work on the little pieces first, and then I can get a better idea of the big stone. So, magical colour there, really nice. I might even take that in half, that piece there. Right, so the tip just broke off there because it was way too thin. So it doesn't matter, but I'm just going to shape that into a beautiful little crystal. So that's a good little example right there of a very pretty crystal. So that should be really nice. One down. Now this piece, again, very nice colour. I'll take the skinny end off first. And I think we're going to make that a little cushion. Beautiful little cushion cut there. Very pretty. Okay. A nice little long piece. Take out that pointy bit. There's a couple of nice little stones around it. The colour is absolutely phenomenal. And that's a nice long cushion cut. Very cool. So this piece has got layers of colour, and I think this colour on top is not quite as good as what's just underneath, so I'm just going to do a little telltale test on the corner, and yeah, I can see better play of colour showing up. So I'll bring this edge in a little bit, and I dare say when I take this down a little bit further, it should get better. There we go, there we have it, look at that. Very nice colour underneath. Take a little, let's do a little bit of tile cutting through there and snap that off. Alright. Very nice colour again. I'm really nervous about doing this big stone. I hope we get a nice clean piece of that elusive cotton wool that is so renowned in Andamooka opal. Can just turn up when you least expect it. Little drop shape. Pretty little drop. Alright, and there we have another nice crystal opal. So, for the big one, it's time to start cleaning up those edges and seeing where our stone and colour and pattern sits the best. It's now time for me to ignore the lines that I've drawn and go for the biggest and best stone I can. So that's a pretty big stone. A bit of a gouge there from my slice. Just gonna have to roll that in a little bit, even it up. And now there's that cloud that's there, and I'm not really happy about that. I need to take a look at this dome and see whether I keep all of that beautiful play of colour or whether it starts disappearing when I roll the dome. So I have to be super careful here as I roll that dome out to get rid of that cotton wool there. And it's coming out, and also the colour, that beautiful pattern is also disappearing. Very, very cautious I have to be. So big stone, that's for sure. Very big stone. Now I'm going to even out that back, because realistically when you're cutting Endemucca opal, the thinner the stone is, the more crystal it will become. Now I'm not trying to grind beautiful opal away just for the sake of calling it a crystal, because it already is a crystal. That is one big, beautiful gem. Alright, now I can tidy it up. I'll roll that dome a little bit. Dome a bit more. Wow, 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 what a freaking big stone that is. That is amazing. Oh, get a load of that. Huge. What a massive pendant piece that is.
Over the years, there's been a handful of gems that go down in history as stones that I'll never forget, and this is definitely one of them. And with that lovely gem has come a lot more experience of how Endemucca crystal opal can be cut. Endemucca the field has the ability to create black opal, white opal, crystal opal, and that matrix opal that people treat. It is one of the most amazing fields that has such a variety of gems. And one of the rarest types of opal that we have in our possession is from Endemucca, and it's that piece that's called Dwayne the Rock. And that is a beautiful big slab of opal infused in quartz, which is one of the rarest combinations of minerals together. And I think there's only 3 pieces in existence that have quite a large size like this one, and with this beautiful colour. Now the stone I'm cutting right now, you can see that it has very similar colour in Dwayne, so you can imagine what could be inside of that big rock. Here's a fun little exercise for you. Leave a comment and have a guess how many carats this gem does weigh. she's a big one, and I'd love to hear your opinion. Also, I didn't film me cutting the smaller stones. The video would just get too long, but here's a little snippet of me cutting one. I thought I'd just concentrate on the nice big gem.
So what a finish, what a beautiful big gem, and my guesses are as good as yours about what it weighs, and so let's just check out and see what it does. 29.76 carats, 29 carats, that is unbelievable. That's a huge crystal, huge, with beautiful colour. I'm very happy with that. And the smaller stones are all around about the same value per carat. So let's put them all on the thing. So there's another 5 carats in the smaller stones. So we're looking at probably $3,000 to $4,000 in the small stones, and the big one. So we're looking at around about a $60,000 gem. What a beautiful outcome. I'm happy with that. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
I know there was no dance this time, but I am over the moon about this gem. It's just so beautiful. I can't believe it. Can you believe it? I can't believe it.